The if function is the most important logical function in Excel. The if function is used to test for a condition and return one value if the condition is true and another value if the condition is false. To make it easier for you, let's look at a simple example. Here we have a table of data that consists of rows and quantity columns. Let's use the if function to return a value of yes if the quantity is less than 10. To get started, let's begin by entering the if command. The if function takes three parameters, and the last parameter is optional. The first parameter is the condition or value to test. In our example, we want to test to see if the value in cell B2 is less than 10, so we will enter B2 is less than 10 as the condition to test for. The second parameter we must enter is the value to return if the condition is true. In this example, we will enter the value yes. This means that if the value in cell 2 is less than 10, the if function will return yes. The third parameter is optional. If provided, it contains the value that will be returned if the condition evaluates to false. To highlight a common mistake, we will not add this parameter in our example. Now that we have entered all of the if function's parameters, let's complete the command to examine the results. You can now see the value yes appear in the cell. Since cell B2 contains the value of 9, which is less than 10, the if function will return yes. Now let's drag our formula into cell D2 to D8. Notice that in cell D4, D6 and D7 the value false appeared. Since we didn't specify a third parameter in our formula, the if function will return false when the condition evaluates to false. Many make the mistake of assuming that by leaving out the third parameter, the if function will return a blank result when the condition is false. To avoid unexpected results, it's a good idea to always enter the third parameter. So let's rewrite our formula to return a blank value when the condition evaluates to false. In cell E2, we will enter our if command and again use B2 is less than 10 for the first parameter and yes for the second parameter. This time, however, we will enter two quotation marks as a third parameter. This represents a blank value or empty string. Now let's complete the command and drag our formula down. This time, we can see that instead of returning false for these rows, the if function has returned a blank cell. So when you write your if function, remember to include both the value to return when the condition is true as well as the value to return when the condition is false. Alright, so that was the example of how to use Excel's if function. If you would like to see more if examples and other formula tutorials, please visit our channel. And if you found this tutorial helpful, please leave a like on this video and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more great Excel tutorials.